Cancer-stricken Alassane Ouattara takes a memorable fall in the presence of a foreign diplomat. Here's what happened. Alassane Ouattara is sick. I believe everyone knows it by now. Just look at his photos, his swollen, darkened face, the visible toll of chemotherapy sessions. A wise man would have chosen to take it easy, retire, and devote his remaining time to his grandchildren before meeting his creator. But no, obsessed with power, he refuses to let go and desperately wants to deceive the world into believing he is in perfect health, fully capable of carrying out the duties of the presidency. As of today, I have not yet made a decision. But I can assure you that I am in great shape and eager to continue serving my country. A few weeks ago, he hosted a foreign diplomat for a private meeting. Smiling throughout, he tried to project the image of a leader in full control, handling affairs with a firm grip. But reality is ruthless. At the end of the meeting, in a gallant gesture, he decided to escort his guest out. He took a few steps, and suddenly, his body gave out. He collapsed heavily in front of the diplomat, right before her astonished eyes. The scene was as brutal as it was surreal. A head of state, mid-conversation, suddenly crumbling to the ground, unable to get back up. Silence filled the room. No one dared move, so shocking was the moment. Then, panic set in. His security team rushed toward him, scrambling to assist the fallen despot. They tried to wake him, but he did not respond. Minutes passed, long, heavy minutes. The man was unconscious. The presidential medical team was called in urgently, but it took them time to arrive. Meanwhile, the diplomat was asked to wait. She stood there, powerless, witnessing an unthinkable scene. A man meant to symbolize the country's stability, sprawled on the floor, lifeless. Eventually, she was asked to leave, with strict instructions to remain silent. Such an incident must not, under any circumstances, be leaked. Ivorians, this is the truth. While the regime's propaganda machine works tirelessly to sell us the image of a strong, capable president, the reality is quite the opposite. Alassane Ouattara is a weakened man, drained by illness and treatment. His body is failing him, yet he clings desperately to power, refusing to accept the inevitable. He may lie to others, but he cannot escape his own fate. His final moments as president have arrived. When it is not the fourth term, it is he is at such and such an age. Well, if I were to be given Gbagbo Laurent with half a term, and Alassane Ouattara with 20 terms, I would choose Alassane Ouattara. I do not even want Gbagbo to do half a term. Before, I knew him. I knew that he could not do anything. He could not do anything at all. As the young people say, I knew that he could not create anything. Nothing at all. I knew it from having been around him, from having seen him. I knew that he could not do anything. The Ivorians gave him a forfeit of confidence. He became president by default in 2000, that is to say for want of anything better. Alassane Ouattara was rejected. Henri Konan Bedi, may he rest in peace, was rejected. Lamine Fadiga was rejected. All those who had a minimum of strength were rejected. And he found himself facing General Robert Gueye. May his soul rest in peace. He dribbled past the general, since he had a party while Robert Gueye did not. So he managed to impose himself. Yes, he managed to impose himself. But what did we get? War. I am doing this on purpose to tell you about this, because these are the arguments they develop. They say, we were not allowed to govern. But they are funny. So you are in power and you want me to let you govern. But what about me? So I am going to die then. I do nothing. But, no, no, no. That is not it. We do not let those in power govern. In democratic country do we let those in power govern? Oh yes. We do not let them govern. We do not see the world in the same way. The love you have for the country is not expressed in the same way for me, otherwise we would be together. But when you say, they did not let us govern. But no, precisely. We must not let you govern. It is up to you to make sure you impose yourself. Did they let Alassane Ouattara govern? They tried everything. They tried coups d'état etc., but it did not work. Damana Picasse has just been sentenced to 20 years in prison. But he says it is a political trial. You wanted to carry out a coup d'état, you were caught. There is evidence against you. The case has been investigated. You are convicted and you talk about a political trial. It is not political. They also tried to disturb us. Alassane Ouattara is very focused. He does not let himself be distracted. He is focused on his objective. Anything we do against him is doomed to failure. Then, they say that in Gbagbo's government, not all the ministers were FPI. There is a problem. That means that this gentleman does not know power. He does not even know what it means to be president of the republic in a regime like that of Côte d'Ivoire. But in a presidential regime, it is the president who is the keystone of everything. It is the president who is the alpha and omega. It is the president who decides everything. Example, he himself, did he not refuse to appoint Kandia Kamara? President Alassane Ouattara proposed Kandia Kamara to be a minister in Gbagbo's government. But he refused. He said no. She was not a candidate. How can you say that such a minister was not FPI, such another minister was not FPI? What does that mean? That means that he himself does not take himself seriously. He does not take the Ivorians seriously. So these people, they chat and we listen to them, but we pretend not to hear them. When the time comes, we will talk to them. So pray to the Almighty to ensure that 2025 is the year of all consecrations. May the total victory of our president in the presidential election be uncontested. President Alassane Ouattara, may God grant him a long life, in order to continue to lead the Côte d'Ivoire ship. May God bless you. May God bless us all. Chris Yapi does not lie. Find Chris Yapi on his 2 YouTube channels, his Rumble channel, his TikTok, X, Instagram, VK and Threads accounts.